Why did they make these so hard? If you're looking for a deck to climb towards King of Games, for the love of God do not play this deck, as the card this deck is built around is complete trash. This deck is built purely for those that want to check out Jack's signature card and his sick-ass animation. Alright, so obviously the only way you can actually play this deck is to use the skill Mark of the Dragon Wings. This skill allows you to start with Red Dragon Archfiend in your extra deck and 2 copies of Dark Resonator in your deck. Red Dragon Archfiend is a level 8 synchro monster that requires 1 tuner and 1 or more non-tuner monsters. After damage calculation, if this card attacks a defense position monster your opponent controls, destroy all defense position monsters your opponent controls. During your end phase, destroy all other monsters you control that did not declare an attack this turn. This card must be face up on the field to activate and resolve its effects. So as you can see by hearing just the effect alone, this card's mostly used for its animation and not for its effect. Dark Resonator is a level 3 tuner monster that has the effect, the first time this card will be destroyed by battle each turn, it is not destroyed. So this is not the worst tuner monster I can think of, because obviously you can play this card and set it in defense position, wait for your opponent to swing at it, and there's a good chance it may survive till your second turn, so you can summon another monster to synchro summon. To go with Dark Resonator, there are 3 more cards we're going to use as synchro material for your Archfiend. Trust Guardian is by far the better of the 2 tuner monsters you're going to be using. It's a level 3 tuner that has the effect, this card cannot be used as synchro material except for the synchro summon of a level 7 or higher synchro monster, which your Archfiend is. Once per turn, the synchro monster cannot be destroyed by battle. Each time this effect is applied, that synchro monster loses 400 attack and defense at the end of the damage step. So generally this card's just used as a safety for your synchro monster, since it means you can swing to things like Mirror Wall, and there's a chance, even though your monster does get hit by the Mirror Wall, it can survive until your next turn. It also can mean you can trade with monsters that also have 3000 attack, like Maximus, as if a 3000 attack monster hits another 3000 attack monster, his will die, and Trust Guardian will keep yours alive. The Tricky is a level 5 monster with the effect, you can special summon this card from your hand by discarding 1 card. So obviously this card is in here to be used for synchron summoning, as it allows you to get around only being able to do 1 normal summon a turn by special summoning this card as well, so you can summon your tuner, and then activate the Tricky's effect, special summon the Tricky, and have the 2 material required for your Archfiend. Probably the best thing about this card is that it also has 2000 attack, so even though it's just meant to be used as material for your Archfiend, it can also be used later on as a bit of a beta to try and hit your opponent's life points. Earth Armor Ninja is used in a similar way to the Tricky, but is strictly worse. If your opponent controls a monster and you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. So just like the Tricky, this card combos really well with the tuner monsters, as you can special summon this card from your hand, and then still use your normal summon to get out one of your tuner monsters. Obviously though this card is strictly worse, it has less attack than the Tricky, and it's also really bad if you draw it later on in the game, since if you have a monster on the board, you just can't use it. It's also a card you generally can't use on turn 1, so it generally means you're going to skip turn 1 if you have this card in your hand. Alright, so the remainder of the deck is just your spell and trap cards. The spell and trap cards for this deck are purely preference, so I like to run Scarlet Security because this deck has absolutely zero way of dealing with backline and your Archfiend is extremely susceptible to it. So running a card that allows you to destroy all spell and trap cards as long as your boss monster's out on the board is pretty useful. Running any kind of card that helps put your opponent's monsters into defense for your boss monster's effect is also pretty good, so something like Earthquake that changes all face-up cards on the field to defense position, or Windstorm of Etaqua which does roughly the same thing but just to your opponent's monsters, or Curse of Anubis which again does roughly the same thing. As these cards will all give your boss monster an instant board wipe, since they destroys every single defense position monster your opponent has. Also you can obviously still use the meta cards like Floodgate and Paleozoic Canadia, as these cards will also make your opponent's monsters go into a defense position state. Alright guys, that's basically it for the talking part of this video. The rest of this video will just be 5 gameplay showing this deck in action. If you liked the video and want to see more, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe down below. If you like the videos I produce and want to help me make more of these in the future, consider hitting those links down below to become a YouTube member by sponsoring the channel. If you've got any questions or feedback, make sure to leave them in the comments down below. Thank you guys for watching and I hope to see you in the next one.
Hey, big brother, can I watch SpongeBob?
Shut up, Mokuba. I'm busy flagging YouTube videos to compensate for the fact that I have an extremely small penis.
Oh.